Hello and welcome to the chapter Flow of Control. This is the part 2 of this particular chapter. I hope that you have watched other parts of this chapter. If not, you can always check out. I have given all the links in the description. So today's topic of discussion is selection statements in Python, and out of the selection statements we are going to discuss about if statement, if-else statement and if-elif statement. So let's begin with the concept of selection statements. See, till now, whatever programs we have been doing in class 11, all the programs executed sequentially. Sequentially means line by line without skipping any line in between. But selection statements are some category of statements which are executed based on a condition. And in this type of statements, not all lines of code gets executed. Some lines of code will get executed and some other lines of code will not get executed. Here, if a condition evaluates to true, a course of action is followed, otherwise a different course of action is followed. And based on the condition, as you will see after a few minutes when I'll be dealing with some practical examples, here there is a condition. If the condition evaluates to true, a course of action is followed, otherwise the condition is ignored and a different course of action is followed. Let's try to understand it with the help of a flowchart. So here, in case of selection statements, in all the categories of selection statements, we'll be having a condition. The condition may be true or it may be false. If the condition is true, a set of statements will be executed, and if the condition is false, then a different set of statements may be executed or the condition may be ignored also. Now let's go and check out the types of selection statements. I hope you have understood how a selection statements work. A selection statement will select only certain specific parts from the entire code. How the selection will be done? Selection will be done based on certain conditions. Now there are basically four types of selection statements. They are if statement, if-else statement, if-elif statement and nested if statement. In today's topic of discussion, we are going to basically discuss about if-else, if-elif statements. Nested if I'll be discussing in the next part of this particular chapter. Let's go and try to understand about the if statement. Now in case of if statement, there is a condition, and if the condition evaluates to true, the statements in the body of if are executed, otherwise the statement within the body of if is ignored. Now in this category of statements, what happens? Let us try to understand with the help of a flowchart. Now here there will be a condition. The condition may be true and the condition may be false. If the condition is true, then certain set of statements are executed, and if the condition evaluates to false, then the body of if condition, that means whatever will be written within the block of if condition, it will be ignored by the Python interpreter. What is the syntax for using if statement? The syntax is as follows. We give if, after that we write whatever condition needs to be fulfilled, and then what Python interpreter will do, Python will check the condition whether the condition is true or false, and if the condition is true, only in that situation it will go inside that particular block. Now let's go and take an example of an if statement and let's see how the if statement works. So for that, I'll be doing a program which is used to accept three numbers from the users and find the largest of the three numbers. Okay, let me write the name of the program in command. Let me write it. Write a program. Write a program in Python to accept three numbers from the user and find the largest of 3. So we'll take three numbers from the user as input and then we'll find out the largest among the three numbers. So let's take three variables for accepting three numbers. So let's do it. A equals to float input because the numbers will be taking, they are of floating point type. Float input, enter first number, and then I'll give a slash n here, and then I'll receive the second number. B equals to float input, let's write, enter the second number, okay, and then we'll take the third number. So we'll write C equals to float input, enter the third number. So all the three numbers are received in A, B and C respectively. After that, what we'll do, by default we'll assume that A is the largest number. So what we'll do, we'll take a variable, let's say max equals to, let's say, A. That means whatever you will enter through A, by default it will be assumed as the greatest number. After that, what I'll do, I'll compare the second number denoted by the variable B with the maximum, that is with A. So what I'll write here, if B greater than max, that means it will be checked whether the second number is greater than the first number or not. So, and if it is greater than the first number, then what I'll do, I'll just change the value of max. Now I'll assign it to B. Now if it is false, okay, then I'll give another if statement where I'll check C is greater than max or not, okay, and even if it is true, then what will happen, max will be assigned to B, and then again this condition will be checked whether C is greater than max or not. If C is greater than max, then what will be done, max will be equals to C. So ultimately by the end of this program, I'll be getting the largest among these three numbers. So what I'll do, where will be the number located? The number will be located in the variable max. So what I'll display here that the largest number is comma max. Now let me run it. At first I'll give, let's say 12, let's say 15, and let's say 7, okay, and press the enter key. What I'm getting that the largest number is 15, okay. So let's try and understand how this particular program works. So what we had there, we accepted three numbers from the user by the variables A, B and C respectively. Here A denoted first number, B denoted second number, and C denoted the third number. After that, what we did max equals to A. What were the inputs? Our inputs were 12, 15 and 7. So A was your 12, B was 15 and C was your how much? It was 7 in this case. So at first max equals to A. So what was done internally by the Python interpreter, max equals to A. A means what? A means 12. After that, what was the next line of code? It said if B greater than max. So what was checked? B greater than max. So what is B? B is 15, 15 greater than max, max means 12 now. Is 15 greater than 12? Is it true or false? Yes, it is true. Since it is true, it will go inside the if block. Now what is written inside the first if block? Max equals to B. That means we have a new max. So earlier max will be erased. Now max equals to B. What it means? It means that max equals to B means the second number, that is 15. Now what Python interpreter will do? It will go for the second if condition where it is written if C greater than max. So now what will be checked? C greater than max. It means what is the value of C? C means our 7 greater than max. What is max? 15. Is 7 greater than 15? No, it is not. Therefore the condition is false. So this particular part, the second, inside the body of the second if statement, whatever is written, it will be ignored. So finally, and it will break and come out of this if selection statements. So finally what we have at the variable max, we have the largest number as your 15. So what will be displayed? The largest number is comma max. What was the value stored at max? The value stored at max At the end of this program is 15, so it is being displayed that the largest number is 15. Let me run it again with different set of inputs. Let's give 98, 43, and let's give 165. As I press the enter key, now I'm getting that the largest number is 165. So in this way, the if statement runs. It is based upon a condition. If the condition is true, the statements within the body of if statement within the same indentation level will be executed, otherwise it will be ignored. That's about the if statement. Now let us go to the next concept or the next type of selection statement, that is the if-else statement. Now in case of if-else statement, if the condition within if, there are two things here, if and else. If the condition within if evaluates to true, then the statements in the body of if are executed. Otherwise, the statements within the body of else are executed. So if the condition is true, whatever is written within if, it will be executed, and if it is false, then whatever is written within the else statement, it will be executed. Now it is used when there are two situations in a particular program. Now in case of two situations, you will be using if-else statements, and out of the two situations, one situation definitely must be true. Let's try to understand with the help of a flow chart. So there will be a condition. If the condition is true, then body of if will be executed. That means whatever is written within if, it will be executed. And if the condition is false, then the body of else will be executed. That means whatever is written within else, it will be executed. So what's the syntax? The syntax is as follows. If under if we give a condition, if the condition is true, whatever is written within if, it will be executed, and if the condition is false, then whatever is written within else, it will be executed. Remember, it is used when there are only two situations in a program, and out of the two situations, one situation will work based on a condition and the other situation will execute if the first situation evaluates to false. Now let's go and do a practical example related to the if-else statement. So what we'll do, we'll just take a number from the user and check whether it is odd or even. So let's quickly do it. Write a program in Python to check whether a number is even or odd. Okay, so we'll take a number from the user and it will display whether it is even or odd. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll take a variable, let's say n. So let's check for these numbers, integers only, positive integers only. So let's take int input. Here I'll give enter a number to check for even or odd. Now what we'll do, now how can you determine whether a number is even or odd? Now if a number gets divisible by 2 completely, then it is an even number, and if it does not get divisible by 2 completely, that means if it has a remainder at the end, then we say that it is not divisible by 2 and therefore it is a odd number. So how we'll check? We'll check in this manner. If n means the number, modulo divide 2 equals to 0. That means here what I am checking here, I am checking the remainder. This modulo divide, it finds out the remainder. Now if the remainder is 0, that means what we can declare? We can declare that the number entered is even. Now there are only two options, either even or odd. So here it's better you use the else statement. Here else statement does not require any condition, so within else will be giving the number entered is what? It is odd. Okay, let me save it and let me run it. It is asking me enter a number to check for even or odd. Let's say I gave 8 and press the enter key. It is displaying that the number entered is even. Again, let me run this program, enter a number to check for even or odd. Now let's say I'll give 17 and press the enter key. Here what I am getting? Here I am getting the number entered is odd. Now let's see how this program worked or how did this program executed. So for that, so at first we took a variable n, and in this variable we received an input. So at first, let's say I received the input as 8. After that, what we did, we checked if n modulo divide 2 equals to 0. So what we checked n modulo divide 2 equals to 0. It is true or not. Now let us check. N means what? 8. 8 modulo divide 2 equals to 0. Now how this operation takes place? We'll have to divide 8 by 2. So we are getting the quotient as 4 and remainder as 0. Now this particular symbol, it takes out the remainder. What is the remainder in this case? The remainder is 0. Now is 0 equals to 0? Yes, 0 is equals to 0. That means it is true. Now since the condition is true, within that condition I have written the number entered is even. Why I have written like that? Because if a number gets completely divisible by 2, there is no remainder, and therefore we can declare that the number entered is even. Therefore we are getting through the output screen that the number entered is even. Let's say in place of n I am giving 7 now. So n modulo divide 2 equals to 0. N means what? 7. 7 modulo divide 2 equals to 0. So if I divide 7 by 2, I'll get the remainder as 1. But is 1 equals to 0? No, 1 is not equals to 0. Therefore we have declared in the second case that the number entered is odd. So in this case the condition will become false. Since the condition becomes false, what it will do, it will immediately go to the else block and execute the statements which are within this block. Here I have given equal to and not a single equal to, because single equal to is called the assignment operator. But if you want to compare for left hand side equals to right hand side, then you have to use double equal to symbol. I've already said that in the previous classes, but still just for revision I'm saying it again here. So this particular program runs in this manner. Now let's go to the next type of selection statement, which is the if-elif statement. Now how does if-elif statement runs? Let us try to understand. Now here, as you can see, at first the program will begin and then the condition will be checked. This is the condition, if condition. Now if the condition is true, then whatever is written within the if condition, that means the body of if, will be executed. The condition may be false also. If the condition is false, then then we have another statement called as the elif statement. Then within elif also will have a condition. That condition is checked. If that condition is true, whatever is written within elif, it will be executed. If that condition is false, then whatever is written within the body of the else statement, it is used. Remember, if-elif statement is used if there are more than 2 conditions. Okay, so let's say there are 5 conditions. So in the first condition, we'll have to write if. In the second, third and fourth, we have to write elif, and in the last condition, that is in the 5th condition, we have to write else here. So in this way, the if-elif statement, selection statement is implemented. So this is the flow chart for that purpose. So here what can be said, it is used in situations where there are more than 2 conditions. So in case of more than 2 conditions, we'll use the if-elif statements. So what is the syntax? The syntax is as follows. We'll give if, after that the condition, and if the statement within the condition is true, then whatever is written within that, it will be executed. Otherwise, elif, under elif also there will be some conditions, and if the condition within elif is true, then it will be executed. Otherwise, it will go to the else parts. Okay, in this way if-elif statement generally works. Now for better understanding of if-elif statement, let us do a particular program. Now what is the aim of the program? Let us check out here. Okay, so let's say here what we'll do, a student will enter the percentage. P stands for percentage, and based on the entered percentage, the result will be displayed. Either the student secured first division or second division or third division, or he failed. So what we'll do, we'll take, if the percentage is between 60 and 100, it is first division. If the percentage is between 50 and 60, then second division. If it is between 40 and 50, then it is third division. And if the student gets lower than that, then the student will fail. Okay, so let us go and implement this. Now here how many conditions are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 conditions are there. Therefore it's better if we use if-elif statements. Now let's go and use it for finding out the division or the grade of a student based on the percentage entered. So let me write the name of the program, which is write a program in Python to calculate the grade obtained by a student based on percentage entered. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll take the percentage from the user. Let's take it by the variable p equals to, let's take it as float. Why float? Because a student may get 86% also or 86.5% also, so that both the values can be accommodated. Therefore it's a good practice to take float in these situations. Okay, so we'll take the this one percentage from the user. So here we'll write enter the percentage. Let's do it. After that, what I said, if the percentage is within the range of 60 and 100, that means if the percentage is greater than or equals to 60 and percentage is less than 100, this condition, the second condition also you have to give. Percentage should be greater than or equal to 60 and less than 100. Then, or we can give less than or equals to 100 also we can give. So what we'll write here, print you secured first division. Next, let us give elif. If percentage is between 50 and less than 60. Okay, less than 60, why I have not given equal to here? Because if p is equal to 60, then it will come under the first block. So as to avoid conflict, I am giving here p less than 60. Okay, so here I'll be printing you secured second division. Okay, now we have another condition. So if I give elif, okay, p greater than equals to 40, that means between 40 and 50%, I'll write here like you secured third division. Okay, now if this is also not true, then what I can say? I can say that the student failed. So else I can just write here print the sorry you failed. Done. Now let us run this program. Okay, very simple. If there were how many situations? 4 situations. Out of that, the first situation and last situation will be if and else respectively, and for all the middle situations you will have to give elif along with the conditions. So if I run it, it is asking me to enter the percentage. Let me give it as 54. It is showing me you secured second division. Let me give it as 86.2. It is giving me you secured third division. Let me give 23.2%. It is giving me sorry you failed. Okay, so if I just run it and let's give it 140, 43%. Then also it is giving me sorry you failed. But is it a right output? No, it is not a right output. Therefore, what we can do, we have to this one give situations for these boundary conditions also. So for that, how you can give? You can give in this format. We can give here, like after this elif, we can just give here elif. If we give percentage less than 0, okay, if someone gives percentage less than 0 and percentage greater than 100, then we can give print invalid input. Okay, because sometimes while entering the percentage, the students or parents, they might make some mistake. Therefore, for handling it efficiently, this invalid input has been given. So if I just run it now, if I give the percentage as 143, I am getting sorry you failed. Why I am getting sorry you failed? Yeah, okay, if percentage greater than 100, I'm getting, okay, let me just do one thing. I'll just give the condition here. Just let me do like this. Elif percentage your between 40 and less than 50. If I give if percentage less than 40 and percentage greater than, if percentage I can give like this, if percentage greater than equals to 0 and percentage less than 40, you can give sorry you failed. If these conditions are not fulfilled, it will be a better approach. I'll give here print invalid input. I can write in this manner. So let me run it and let me give the percentage as 143. What it is giving me? It is giving me invalid input. That means percentage, the greatest value of percentage can be 100%. Okay, it cannot be more than that. Therefore, I am getting invalid input. Why invalid input? Because while checking, at first this condition will be checked. All of you know how AND operator works. I have already explained it in the chapter of Python fundamentals and the chapter on data handling in Python. You can just check it out. And after that, the second condition will be checked. If it is false, then third condition. If it is false, then the fourth condition. And if this is also false, then it will come to the last condition. Let me run it again and give the percentage as -5. -5 is also not accepted. Therefore, all these conditions will become false. And finally, I'll get the output as invalid input. Okay. So in today's session, we have discussed about if, elif, and if-else and if-elif statements. That's all for the day. I hope that this session was useful. Thank you very much. Now in elif, one more thing, in elif there can be as many conditions as required. Okay, I hope that this session was useful. Thank you very much.